Awesome. Oh yeah. Whoa. Go, go, go. Go, go, go. Go, go. Freedom. Now, obviously, this is not in the middle of the night. As I quickly found out, it's not particularly easy recording videos in the pitch black. But either way, I wanted to kind of make a video about night riding. It's something that I hold very dear to my heart. Just riding through the mountains, kind of like this, in the middle of the night, climbing alone. Yes, the sound of the mountains. It's so therapeutic. I actually might stop here before I head into a tunnel. Look at this. Now, usually when I post a photo or a ride on Strava or something that happened during the night, I usually get that question: what kind of lights are you using? And I thought I would now answer that question once and for all, and especially for these rides when I go out in the morning, ride all day, and then have the biggest climb and descent during the night or the dark hours, so to speak. Now, there's one point I really want to try to drive home before we get into this. I'm not trying to influence you to buy something or copy my setup. I chose this particular light system for these type of road rides I do, like when I know I have proper climbing and proper descending in the middle of the mountains here, which is for the most part pretty pitch black, no traffic, etc, etc. So instead of copying someone's light setup, I suggest you actually do a little checklist. What are the most important thing? Do you need 8,000 lumens for 20 minutes? Or maybe you're like me and you actually need 400 lumens for, say, 8 hours. If you're doing touring and stuff like that, you might actually need something like a dynamo solution, something like that. So again, I'm not doing sponsored videos. This is stuff I bought for myself that ticked the boxes I needed. And if I can share some of my experience, why not? So let's take the next 5 or so minutes, go a little bit more in depth on actually why this particular system ticked the boxes for me. And after that, let's do some night descending. So for the big days out, when I'm actively planning on being out in the mountains during the night, and what I'm using in this video, this is the Gloworm X2 Adventure light system. On the bike, this system is made up of 3 main parts: the actual light, the battery unit, and a small wireless remote. The reason for going this type of modular system is that I can have a long-lasting bright light that I can mount underneath the Garmin without worrying about it breaking the mount if I happen to hit a pothole or riding off-road. It's not the sturdiest mount in the world after all, plus I don't have a big eyesore of a brick on my handlebars to hit my knee on. Also, when I do these long night rides, I always ride with either a frame bag or my speed handlebar bag for extra storage, so keeping the battery unit in the bag works out perfectly in my use case. This system does include the straps for mounting the battery directly to the frame as well though. But there's a few reasons I went for this Gloworm in the end. First, everything is included. No need to buy accessories like GoPro adapters and stuff like that. Here I get both the bar mount that I could use on the Monda, as well as the GoPro mount that will go underneath the Garmin on my Echo. Next reason, the connecting cables are USB-C. Not quite bog standard though, as they have included rubber gaskets and they sit quite deep in the unit for that weather sealing. But I like the fact that I could swap the cable easily if something were to happen. But because of that recessed connector, not every USB-C cable will fit. My MacBook charger cable did fit in the light, but not quite in the battery side. Luckily, some small adapters are included to help with that issue, both USB-C to USB-C and USB-C to USB-A. Which brings me to another reason I went for this light. I can use the battery for charging other stuff in a pinch, like my Varia radar, for example. Third reason, it's the swappable lens optics. The spot lenses will be the brightest, but since I mainly ride on the road, I don't want to blind any potential traffic out there. So my current configuration here is the wide lens that spreads the beam horizontally but limits it vertically, paired with a honeycomb lens that kind of smooths out the beam pattern across the road. Both these will lower the efficiency of the light, but again, I'm not really worried about peak brightness. I'm probably looking to pick up a second wide lens in the future. Last reason is the customization. I can set up how many modes I want via the app, and while it's not the best app in the world, it does the job good enough for me. In my case, I have 3 main modes, one full 200 lumens, which never really gets used, but it's good to have in an emergency. The second mode is about 50%, and this is what I use when descending. It gives me plenty of output for the road and a decent runtime. At least would cover me for some longer descents. But as soon as I am on the flat or climbing, I'm on the third mode, which is around 25%. If that correlates to exactly 25% of the max lumens, I don't know, but say conservatively, I get 400 lumens. I can run that for up to 9 hours, and that is plenty bright, and most importantly, it doesn't give me battery paranoia out in the deep mountains. And as you might imagine, those modes are easily controllable with a wireless remote that I strap to the top of my handlebars. When it comes to weight, what is critical to me is the light unit itself. That's 72 grams. I have no worries about breaking my Garmin mount with this. The complete system weight is around 285 grams, which in all honesty is heavier than what this is replacing, my old Lezyne macro drive XXL 1300, I think it is, which I was very happy with as a light, so to speak, but getting that brick away from the handlebar is well worth the weight increase for me personally. Now, this is obviously not my every ride light. It's just for those rides when I know I'll be having fun, proper fun in the dark. My go-to just in case light is the Lezyne Classic Drive 500. Very neat, small for the output, and I feel safe knowing I have about 3.5 hours on 200 lumens or up to 8 hours on 100 lumens to get myself home if something unexpected were to happen. And at 95 grams, it's not something I'm worried about having underneath my Garmin mount. As I already hinted at, my rear light is the Varia radar. I don't really believe much need to be said about this. While not perfect in terms of battery life, I wouldn't ride anything else. The standard mount is crap though, I have to say. It makes the unit too heavy and really floppy, to be honest, unless you use zip ties to tighten it down. My little DIY solution with a standard stem mount and a block of dense packing foam not only make this much sleeker and more secure, but check that weight saving. Oh.